Hello, and welcome to the Fly with Mel podcast. If you've always been the strong one, the overthinker, the high achiever, or the quiet one who carries everything alone, you are in the right place. Here, we talk about identity, survival mode, confidence, relationships, self-trust, and all the real-life messiness that comes with becoming the person you know you're meant to be. If you're ready to understand yourself on a deeper level, break old patterns, rewire your mind, and finally step into alignment, please sit tight. I'm Mel, an identity coach and NLP Master practitioner, and I use this space to share self-reflections, lessons, and conversation with the people I meet along the way. Because everyone you meet has something to teach you. So take a seat and enjoy the flight. Have you ever felt like you weren't in the right place anymore? Like something around you felt too tight, too heavy, and all you wanted was to escape, to go away, to breathe, or to get some air? Well, that feeling isn't random, and it's not weakness either. It is often your system telling you that the environment you're in no longer matches with who you're becoming. So yes, today we're going to talk about something that can radically accelerate your growth. Something that shapes you far more than you might realize, your environment. Because whether you're aware of it or not, your environment is constantly influencing your thought, your behavior, and ultimately your identity. And that's a topic that I love to talk about because I personally managed to change my life drastically because of changing my environment. Of course, I changed my environment to the extreme by moving to another country. I did that twice. Moving first time to Argentina when I was younger. That helped me shift a lot of things and patterns that were not serving me anymore and an identity that I didn't like about me. And then I moved to Australia later on, and that also helped me grow so fast. And, it's the kind of growth that you don't even force. It's the kind of thing that comes naturally in flow. But I'm not saying that you have to change your environment like completely moving to another country. I am saying changing little things in your environment can also make big shifts in your life and to your identity. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. We love to believe that change is only about mindset, discipline, or motivation. But the truth is, it is incredibly hard to become a new version of yourself while staying in an environment that keeps reinforcing the old you. When I'm talking about my personal story, by living in my previous household with my family that, of course, I love, but, like in every family, you have stories and you have sometimes behaviors around you that don't help you change. That is hard to change in this type of environment. And so whenever you stay in that type of environment around you where you have some toxic patterns, it is very hard for you to grow out of that and to become the new you. Sometimes it's also because people around you don't even understand what you're trying to do, who you're trying to become, and that stops you. It can stop you in your need and your motivation to grow and to be different. Your environment is not just a place you live in, as I said before. It's also really like the people you're surrounded by, but also the conversations you hear, the habits that feel normal around you, even the music you listen to. Like you can listen to music, very harsh music and dark music. That will put you off. That will change your energy. And that will not help you to have the mindset of the person who will change and make big things, for example. And the energy you move in every single day is also part of your environment. Because whether you realize it or not, your environment is constantly shaping your identity. So I know it's not comfortable to hear what I will say today and what I already said, but the truth is, if you are surrounded by people who think small, who complain constantly, who fear change, or who project their own limitations onto you, your nervous system will adapt to that. You will start shrinking without even noticing. And this is something I see all the time in my coaching sessions, by the way. Clients who are very smart, intelligent, capable, deeply motivated, but who feel stuck, blocked, or like they're constantly fighting against themselves. It's like when you look closer, it's not about them. It's often not them. It's really the environment they're trying to grow in. So again, if you're trying to grow in an environment that doesn't feel good to you, that is kind of toxic, or that is not leading the way you want to become, it's not going to help you. It is going to be hard to change, and it is going to be hard for you to accept to become someone who is completely different than the environment you're in, if that makes sense. So here is the key idea I want you to take with you today. Your identity is not fixed. It is responsive. You don't become who you are in isolation. You become who you are in response to what surrounds you. So again, it's about what is around you today in your environment, because that will shape who you can become later. If your environment rewards comfort, you will choose comfort. If it rewards expansion, curiosity, and courage, you will rise to that level. Yes, it is that simple, but it is hard to be aware of what is surrounding you right now and to make the shift to really decide, is it really aligned with what I want to do with my life? Is it really aligned with who I'm trying to become? That's why changing your environment can accelerate your growth massively, because suddenly the behaviors you were forcing before become natural. So let me explain how it works, because it can be a bit like, going into all the different directions. But if I explain on a deeper level, your nervous system is always scanning for safety, okay? It's protecting you. And safe doesn't mean good. It just means familiar, what you already know. That's how your brain works. Whatever is familiar for the brain is already safe. It is what the brain will go for. Okay, whatever is new, even if it's a good thing, the brain will say, no, this is danger. I don't know it. It's unfamiliar. I don't know what's that. What is this? So if you grew up in chaos, for example, like in a household where people were constantly screaming, like a lot of mess, then you might feel uncomfortable in a calm environment because it's something that you don't know. Your brain is not used to that. If you grew up around scarcity, abundance might feel unsafe. If you grew up being told to stay small, then being visible, like standing up for yourself, having a voice, might feel threatening. When you change your environment, you interrupt those automatic patterns. You give your system new references, new possibilities, new opportunities. You open new doors. You give your brain new definitions of what is normal for you. And suddenly, your identity starts to shift without forcing anything. It's just natural. It is flowing. This is why travel, moving to other countries, changing jobs, or even just changing social circles can be so powerful. Not because running away fixes everything. Let me be clear about that, because you can move to another country and you will take with you all the things that are already with you. All the heavy weight you have on your shoulders is not going to disappear because you're taking a plane. It's not going to go and fall into the sky. No, it's coming with you too. But it's just because exposure you have around you, the environment, the energy you will have around you will change your perception around things. It will open your mind to new possibilities. You will perceive the world differently because you will see that there are things around that you were not aware of. You didn't even know it existed. You didn't even know you could live this way. When I moved first to Argentina, I think that's where I had the biggest breakthrough. It's really because I went to Argentina and I met people who were orphans and who lost their parents in accidents or at birth or these kind of things. And these people were so generous and happy, and they wanted to give you the world. It's people who invited me at their table. They didn't even know me that much. They wanted for me to feel safe in Argentina. They were helping me so much. They were just like guiding me all the time. And I was like, these people who went through hell and had to grow up in an environment where they were not that much surrounded by love, or at least not the love that I knew about, were so full of it anyway, like they were so full of love and light. And for me, it was like, I don't know, it was eye-opening. And I was like, wow, you are ungrateful, Mel, for some stuff that happened in your family, and you're so upset about it, and you're like constantly victimizing yourself in your mind, like I was constantly telling myself, oh, if I cannot be that person in my life, or if I cannot attract financial security, it's because I've been in a family where we had a lot of scarcity and we lacked a lot of things and blah, blah, blah. So I was victimizing myself. But then when I went to the other side of the world in Argentina and I saw these people who grew up with nothing and yet had everything in terms of like light, love, and for me that's the biggest wealth you can have, and they were not victimizing themselves, it completely shifted my mind. I realized that you can definitely choose the type of energy you want to have. You can definitely rewrite your story your own way and make it a strength. And that's what these people taught me. But I wouldn't have met these people in my country, in Paris, in the middle of Paris, with the people I usually go out with and the people I was surrounded by, because there was no space for external type of people. Kind of like, I don't know if that makes sense, but when you're comfortable in your little life, in your little bubble, you have your friends, your family, your circle. You don't really get out of that. You just like, you don't make space for that because you're already trying to make space for the people you have and find the time between work and this and that. So you don't even have your mind is not even open to meet new people. So again, exposure changes perception. When you will see people living differently around you, thinking differently, believing differently, when you have like these people, you can be like, oh my God, you have such a positive mindset. It opens your brain, your mind. You see things differently. You're like, oh, if that person can think like that, why not me? And your brain will go really like, oh, this is possible. And that moment alone can change everything. When your brain starts to tell you, oh my God, oh whoa, this is possible, this is where really you can have change happening straight away. Because your brain starts to really scan what is happening around and maybe making space to let it come to you a bit more, instead of thinking all the time that it is a threat. So again, I want to be really clear. Yes, my personal story does include the fact that I moved countries and I changed a lot through that. But this is not, you don't need to move to another country to change yourself and to change your environment. Okay. I did grow a lot by staying in the same place. I've been in Australia now for 8 years, and the person I was the first year here is completely different from the person I am today, 8 years later. And yet I haven't changed country. I've been in the same country now for 8 years. And when I was younger and I was in France, it's the same. Like for 25 years, I was living in Paris, but I didn't, I wasn't the same person for 25 years. You know what I mean? It's like your environment is not only about the country. The country is just a geography, okay? But the environment isn't just geography. It's also the content you consume, the people you spend time with, the conversations you allow around you. Like if you have always people around you who are whinging, who are negative, who are taking you down, it's draining you. You feel it in you that it is draining, but still you allow these conversations to happen. I'm not saying you have to shut down people. I'm saying maybe you have to leave the circle whenever it's getting too much for you. Maybe you can just say, excuse me, I have to go. Like I cannot, if you feel that the conversations are starting to drain you and not to go towards the person you're trying to become, how do you make that still be here for you? Like, why do you allow that? The standards you tolerate is also part of your environment. Whatever you tolerate around you, the respect you give to yourself, the respect you give to others, the places where you feel inspired versus the places you feel drained. Again, you can choose that. It's a place. You can go to a coffee shop where you feel super inspired, or you can decide to go, I don't know, to a library where you really feel drained because it's like there is no inspiration for you. I don't know. Or maybe it's the other way around. But this is part of the environment. Go somewhere where you feel good and you will feel it. It's in you. It's your energy. It will tell you, am I feeling inspired and creative here? Yes or no? And if no, okay, move on, change. Go to the other side of the street. Go sit in that other coffee. Have another perspective, another perception, And sometimes when you feel too comfortable, your brain is all like, okay, I know that place. It's familiar. It's fine. Okay, challenge that. Change it. If you are used to sit in the same coffee shop since the past year, okay, change that coffee shop. Go to the other one. Go and watch from the other window. Like change it. Change the perception you have. Change your paradigm. Change the things around you. And by doing these little shifts, you will see, I can assure you, you will see changes in your life. If you are used to wake up and go to the same coffee shop down the street next to your house, and you've been doing that for the past year, change that. And I can assure you that you will start to have different perception of the world. Your brain will start to think differently and it's just because you will have to change your automatism. Like you have some stuff that you do automatically. You don't even realize anymore. How did I come to that coffee shop this morning? I don't even remember. How did I leave the house? How did I come downstairs? And how did I land to the coffee shop? Because it's something you do so much and so often. If you do that every morning, your brain is used to it. You don't even realize anymore who you can bump into the street, what things you can see, because you do that it's kind of like it's automatic, right? Now, if I tell you, okay, change your coffee shop from tomorrow and go to one that is 10 minutes away from your house, you will see that your brain is going to start to notice things on the street. Maybe you will even notice something that you never saw before that was always here. And you will be like, oh my God, I never saw that this store was here, open next to my street. Because you never really opened your eyes because you were so focused on doing the thing that you've always done. So it's this kind of thing. Anyway, I will wrap up the podcast with a simple reflection for you today. Where in your life are you trying to grow while staying in an environment that keeps pulling you back? And here is another powerful question for you. Who would you naturally become if your environment supported your expansion instead of your survival? I'll say it again. Who would you naturally become if your environment supported your expansion instead of your survival mode? Sometimes growth isn't about trying harder. It's really about changing the context. Because when the environment changes, the effort decreases and the alignment increases. So let me leave you with that last note for today. You are not stuck. You are just surrounded by what keeps you the same. And the moment you shift that, your identity will follow. Take care. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need this reminder today. Hit the subscribe button and don't forget to follow me on Fly with Mel, Instagram and TikTok. More real talk, stories, and life-shifting conversations are coming your way. Until next time, keep flying.